G'day, guys. Welcome back to Statchat Sports. You with me, Josh, and BT on the call today. How are you, mate?
Very good, very good. And you?
Oh, mate, terrific. We've had a great weekend of sports. It's only fitting that the two of us have a real nice, intimate chat. Just the two of us on the podcast today to talk about a very exciting weekend of sports, mostly in the tennis world, BT.
Yeah.
We've been covering a lot of tennis here at Statchat Sports, and we had a couple of really good finals to watch over the weekend.
Oh, it's good watching the Aussies win in any sport.
Oh, yeah.
In any sport, let alone freaking Ash Barty, what was it, 44 years, I think, last time?
44 years. She absolutely put on a show, BT.
Oh, wow. It was insane.
You know, she looked unstoppable throughout the whole 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Was challenged by Collins there in the second set, but when it was time to flick the switch, Ash Barty just went on a roll.
Yeah. Was it 5-1 she was down? Then won 7-5.
Yeah.
She's like,
5-1. And, you know, I just got the sense that Collins was serving the lights out in that second set.
Yeah.
Like every single first serve was hitting, and Barty was just sort of going, oh, geez, if this keeps up, I'm in trouble here. And I don't know if Collins sort of, you know, sensed the moment a little bit and went, oh, geez, I'm in this, I'm doing this, and sort of like got a little bit too tense. I don't know how you saw it.
I reckon Ash Barty was like, oh, might start trying now. She hasn't tried all tournament. Collins played very well. I think Ash Barty was just on that another level. She had that whole momentum going into that match. But it was 5-1. That's just ridiculous. Most guys or women will you just take it easy, go on to the third set, save your energy. But no, she was like, no, I'm gonna win it here.
Yeah, I want to go through this tournament without dropping a set. I think she was one of only 3 women to do so since 2000. I thought the stat was, which is super impressive. But it was a Kathy Freeman-esque night, wasn't it? I mean, Kathy was in the stands.
Yeah, she was there.
She was there. She was watching, and it just felt like Australia was watching. Australia expected the victory, and Ash Barty stood up to the plate and delivered exactly what we were after. It was a really impressive performance, about as classy as it gets, I think, BT.
Oh, it was wicked to watch. Russell Crowe was there as well. Don't forget about him.
Yeah, Russ.
Russ was there.
The South Sydney supporter in the crowd. You see one at every sporting event. Russ was front and centre. It must have been the hottest ticket in town as well, because you had the two big Aussie finals back to back with Special Ks up against Ebden and Purcell straight afterwards, BT. And that obviously it wasn't as significant of a match. Yeah, you know, Barty, the women's singles, the number 1 seed, but still a pretty fun way to end the evening.
Yeah, it was wicked to watch. I don't think I've ever watched a doubles match, and I've watched the last 3 of the Special Ks matches. Hopefully, I know Kyrgios is a real fan of playing like the French Open and stuff, but hopefully they play more together and continue it. I know a lot of people don't like how they carried on or how the crowd carried on, but it made me watch it.
But exactly, it made people watch it. I think Tennis Australia would be really happy with the result.
Yeah.
And the boys, like you said, they looked like they were having a good bit of fun out there.
Yeah, they're just enjoying it.
Certainly unorthodox, you know, and they certainly don't have the experience, but it just worked. They both have so much talent.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it was. Pure skill.
They probably weren't. Yeah, they probably weren't expecting to be, you know, really focusing on the doubles. No. You know, Kyrgios probably thought he was going on a run. You know, we said on this show that we thought Tanasi was a bit of a dark horse to make, you know, a little bit of a run. Yeah. You know, that didn't eventuate, but they turned the week into something, and they'd have to be pretty happy with getting Grand Slam silverware to their name.
Oh yeah, exactly, and that extra prize money. That's a question actually. How does the prize money work in doubles? Is that split or is it each? I think it's like close to 500,000. Is that split or is that each?
I don't know, but if you offered me $250 each, I'd be taking it right now. I'm not complaining. I mean, cash is cash.
But you could tell the difference between them two and Ed and Purcell, how they come to the net, play proper double style, and the special case just pure skill down the line, power, lobs, all of it.
It was a weird night though, wasn't it? Because Ebden and Purcell did not get really a whole lot of love, which for an Australian team on Australian soil was really bizarre.
Yeah, and I think they made it last year as well, or the year before they made the final.
Not sure. You probably know better than me.
I'm pretty sure. It was recently they made the final as well, and even then it wasn't even hardly anyone went and watched it. It was purely because Kyrgios and Kokkinakis.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Purcell said in his losing speech that it was the biggest crowd he'd ever played in front of.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, he was really grateful for the atmosphere, regardless of the result. So it
was good to watch.
Look, just good for tennis. But I tell you what, the one match that was good for tennis was the men's final. That was an absolute classic. Second longest Grand Slam final behind the Australian Open from 10 years ago. With Joker and Nadal. That was an epic BT. It just kept going. It was almost like a heavyweight boxing match. They just kept slugging it out, and no one was giving in.
No, well, my pick from the start. Good old Rafa. Rafa all the way.
We need to clip this. We need to throw back to that. Because I feel like I mentioned Nadal in the second week. I was late to the bandwagon, but look, if you've called from the start, you've done well. He looked like he was really doing it tough out there, didn't he?
Oh, he just doesn't stop. Does not stop running. It's ridiculous. You could tell the experience of playing in all those Grand Slams helped him towards the end there. Gone, obviously 2 sets down. And Medvedev started to lose. Crowd was up and about with Nadal. Started getting to Medvedev. Started getting a bit angsty there.
It was a tidal wave of momentum, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
But it only slowly really crept up on him. You know, it probably wasn't till about mid to late in the fourth set where it really started to get on top of him. Like even in the third set, you know, he was playing up to the crowd a little bit. You know, but you still thought, even though Nadal was winning that set, that Medvedev was still in control.
Yeah.
I think it was late in that fourth that Medvedev had really lost control.
Yeah.
But even then, in the fifth, he still kept finding ways to stay in games, and I think he even broke serve at one point as well.
Yeah, broke serve, and then how many break serves there was? It was just break and then break and break. Oh, these guys
just kept going.
They did not give up. It was so good to watch, and I watched nearly all of it, and it was the best Sunday you could ask for. That's what you want. The 5-hour match, the 5.5-hour match. Yeah.
What did you make of the speech from Medvedev after the match? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I've watched clips. The one directly straight after, or the interview after?
The presentation.
Oh, the presentation.
Trophy presentation.
I thought he was going to talk a little shit there, to be honest with you. It was pretty good. But then he made up for it in the post match. With all the media there and everything, he made up for it.
So I haven't seen the post match. So for those of us that haven't heard or didn't see it, what did he sort of say to the media?
He was practically saying he doesn't want to play. He's thinking about not playing any more Grand Slams because the crowds. He doesn't want to come back to Australia, and he's thinking about just going and play the Moscow Moscow Open. That's what he's going to do instead of playing the French Open and Wimbledon, something like that.
Yeah. I think it's pretty raw, obviously. He'll be back. I mean, we know he'll be back.
Yeah.
He's an entertainer. He's an entertainer, Medvedev.
Yeah.
He certainly was disappointed with the result.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, physically exhausted, but certainly disappointed. But he put in a pretty impressive showing these past 2 weeks, and he can hold his head up high.
Oh, yeah.
But he loves the villain role. I mean,
yes, he does.
He loves it. He feeds off it. I mean, if you saw him just standing there after the match during the trophy presentation, he's sitting there nudging Nadal, going, God, this is boring.
This is boring.
Just get me out of here. I'm done. What are we still doing here? You know, this is boring.
I think we can all agree with it, though. It was. It's like those speeches. What they do after these guys just played 5.5 hours. The last thing they want to do is stand there and listen to these. The Kia CEO or whatever it was, one of the sponsors talk. It's like they don't give a shit.
Yes. No, that's right. And I think the head of Tennis Australia gave the exact same speech at Ash Barty's thing. Come on, guys. Come on. Just say it once, and then the next presentation go, look, we're all really grateful. Just listen to my speech from last night, and you'll get the gist. Right. Exactly. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
No one honestly cares about those speeches. No one.
No, just hold up the trophy and smile for the camera, and then off to bed. 1 o'clock. See you later.
Exactly. Yeah.
You've done what you need to do.
Yeah. All right. So talking about Rafa.
Yes.
Let's talk about top 5 athletes. Who have you got? Where does he sit?
Are you talking tennis, or are you talking
all time,
all athletes forever?
Yes.
All right. Well, Rafa's not there, obviously.
He's not there.
He's good, right? He's good. But, okay, this might sound harsh. Out of the big 3 of Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal, Rafa is number 3. I mean, you can argue with football, but he's a clear number 3. I don't care that he's just got the 21. He's, in my opinion, a bit of a one-trick pony because half of those are on clay.
Yeah, one like freaking 7 in a row or something in clay.
He's good, but I don't think he's as good as Federer and Djokovic. That's just my opinion. I think Fed is number 1.
Oh,
because I think Fed past his prime was still beating Djokovic in his prime. So for me, that makes that discussion null and void. Love the way the Fed goes about it. He's a class act.
Yeah.
His game stacks up across all eras from a tennis point of view. Djokovic is a supreme athlete and he's very talented. He's very good at what he does, don't get me wrong. But from a technical point of view and the way he goes about it, Fed for me is number 1 for men's tennis, hands down. It is what it is. Would be keen to get your thoughts on that, and then while you're doing that, I'll come up with my top 5 for you because that's a very loaded question for me.
Oh, I can see exactly where you're coming from, but if Nadal wins another, or let's say if Nadal wins either the US or Wimbledon and not the French Open, where does he move up on your list?
Maybe. But I don't think he would because, I mean, he won his 21st here, but there was no Djokovic and no Federer.
Yeah.
I would argue if both of those were playing, Nadal's not playing in the final.
Yeah.
I mean,
can't argue with that.
I mean, I think that's a fair point.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair statement. I don't think we see Nadal win another one. I think his reaction last night probably shows that.
Yeah.
He was pretty stoked to be there. He was pretty stoked to win.
Mm-hmm.
I think he knows he's probably not going to go the distance in another one.
Yeah.
I mean, would it surprise you if Nadal actually retired at this point?
Oh, no, not at all.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes another French Open, like you said, and then
he retires after the French Open. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's a perfect way to wrap up Nadal's career with a 5-set classic
Nadal match
at the Australian Open.
Yeah,
he's lost 4 finals at the Australian Open, most of them 5-set epics.
Mm-hmm.
Gets it done against the young stud Medvedev. Why not call it a career? And it'll be a pretty damn good career at that.
Yeah. All valid points there, mate. I can't argue with those.
So would you go Fed, Djokovic, Nadal? Is that where you're sitting, or what do you think?
I think I'm more leaning to Djokovic top.
Yeah, okay.
Because
why is that?
I think he's better on all surfaces better than the other 2. Federer dominated on grass, equivalent to Nadal on clay, close to it.
I think Fed's also the only one of the 3 that hasn't won at least 2 at each of them.
Yeah.
So I can take your point on that.
It's hard to pick out of all three of them. They're all three.
It's whatever your flavor is.
Yeah, exactly. Who you like. Who you like watching. I like watching Djokovic. I can't stand the bloke, but I like watching him play. I like watching all three of them play, to be honest. But
you don't have to like someone to appreciate what they do.
Exactly. That's it.
All right. So you asked the question, top 5 athletes of all time. That's a big question. Let's go top 3. Right? Let's go top 3. And I would love a bit of feedback as well in the comments of whatever video this ends up being. We could do a poll. We could do something. I'd love a bit of feedback on this. What sports are we going with here? And what's our classification? Are you just talking like just best pure athlete? Are you talking most successful athlete? Are you talking biggest longevity? Are you talking their impact on social and just cultural levels?
I think
there's so many different places you can take this.
Oh yeah, you could put categories on each of them. Probably a different athlete on each.
Because if you were talking like on a cultural or social level, you could argue someone like Muhammad Ali is the greatest athlete of all time.
Yes, exactly.
Now, he may not have had as much success. He might not have gone through undefeated, but the guy is synonymous with the way he went about it, the change that he made to society. He used his platform, the way that he promoted the sport, the way that he elevated it. That's not a bad argument at all. He might not be the best boxer of all time though. There's other boxers that you could say, I reckon this guy probably would have had him covered. Now, does that make him the greatest? I don't know, but for his impact, it puts him up there.
Yes, I think we go more achievement type athletes, what they've achieved in their sports and how. Because obviously each sport's different and how big of an impact that certain player has had in that sport.
Yeah.
To winning a championship type.
Who have you got for me?
MJ number 1.
Agreed.
Yep. I'm going.
Agreed. Now we didn't see him in his prime either. Like that's obviously not something that we can change.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you were about to say, the guy just won.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And he was just a freak athlete. I'm going Brady number 2.
Yes. Now we should point out as well, we're recording this on Monday, the 31st of January. There's been no official announcement about retirement, but there's rumors floating around. I think someone's jumped the gun a little bit with a report about a retirement. And they've just tried to sort of pour a bit of cold water on it. Yeah.
If he won another ring, like this season, obviously he's been knocked down and whatnot. If he would have been my number 1. If he won another one.
Really? So one more would have done it. The 7th last year wasn't enough for you?
No, one more.
Why would one more have changed it?
I think purely winning 2 at another club, changing clubs. I think Michael Jordan, obviously how many rings he won, but he was just that freak athlete as well. What he did, how many finals he won, not losing, and how many MVPs, how many defensive players, how many all-stars, or the amount of achievements he had puts him at number 1. But how many rings you win as a quarterback, how many he's won is kind of ridiculous. So I've got them very close. And like I said, that would have the pure individual achievements from Michael Jordan, what he did, put him above for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got one from left field for you because I don't disagree with any of those. Usain Bolt.
Oh,
where do you put a guy like Usain Bolt?
Cool.
Because for an 8-year period, he was absolutely the quickest, best 100-meter sprint athlete in the world. There was no question about it. He went to the Olympics 3 times. He won gold in the 100, the 200, and the 4x100 at every Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, they did take one off him because one of his teammates was doping in the 100 meters at the Beijing Olympics. But let's ignore that because they would have won it regardless of who they would have put in there as number 4. So for an 8-year period, the guy is the best athlete, hands down, unanimously at the top of his game, almost to the point where he's not even taking it seriously.
That's actually, I honestly did not consider him. I did not even think about that at all.
He's got to be in the discussion.
Oh.
And for a sprinter as well.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that long of a lifespan. You know, like the new kid on the block comes in, overtakes your throne. He was doing it at like what? He would have been almost 30 at that last Olympics.
Yeah. And he's everyone knows who Usain Bolt is.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows his name. I would argue more people know who Usain Bolt is than who know Tom Brady is.
Yeah, fair, because NFL doesn't have that universal appeal.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what he did outside the Olympics. I can't say I knew what he did with the championships.
Nothing, because that wasn't really the Olympics was the pinnacle. Obviously.
Yeah, that's what you obviously aim for. Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard one.
So
for my number 3, on Brady.
Yeah, you go. And then we'll come back to Brady.
My number 3, I had him. You got me thinking now with Usain Bolt. I had Tiger Woods at number 3.
Okay.
What he did in his prime, winning back-to-back championships, tournaments, it was. I don't think people realize how hard golf actually is. You see these professionals now.
I realize because I'm terrible.
Yeah, it's same. I think what you see the professionals now, very rarely someone will win a tournament, then they'll go a few tournaments without winning one. They'll finish outside the top 20, then they'll win another one and whatnot. He was constantly in the top 5 every tournament. Yeah. He was insane what he did. And he purely changed the game. I know we're not talking social-wise, but from the social point of view, first person start wearing coloured tops, first dark-skinned fella to be that successful at golf. He changed the whole culture of golf. What he did, and pure skill is ridiculous.
And he was everywhere.
Everywhere.
He was massive.
Yes, massive star.
You know,
everyone knows who Tiger Woods is as well.
But I feel like as well. So we're focusing quite a lot on like the 90s to the 2010s, which is obviously our era. Mm-hmm. But a lot of these stars that we're sort of floating as the GOAT really were the face of the sport, and they elevated the sport right as we're coming into that era of massive TV coverage, online coverage, and video games, and so they were the faces of the sport, and they were just elevated to that next level. Obviously I think Woods is a good shout. I don't think it's as good of a shout because I don't think his peak was long enough.
Yep, fair.
In my opinion. Mm-hmm. And he's obviously fallen well off the wagon at this point. I think that's fair to say. For a multitude of reasons. Yeah. In his heyday, he certainly was at his peak. Yeah. Hasn't had the longevity of a guy like Brady. So
Brady or Jordan did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Brady you put ahead of him, but the main, it's hard to have a knock on someone like Brady. But when you're comparing someone like Tom Brady to Michael Jordan, for me, I look at where they sit in relation to their peers, right? And so even though Brady is, clearly won the most titles of any quarterback
by a long way,
you could legitimately make arguments that there's other quarterbacks, in the same era that were as good, if not better. Yeah. Like you could make an argument that Peyton Manning was a better quarterback. Yeah, sure, he didn't have the team around him to get him as many titles, but the way he played the position, he changed the game, and probably was an equal of, if not slightly better than Brady in terms of a field general. Whereas if you look at MJ, I don't think there is a peer to MJ in terms of what he was able to do on the court.
No, I agree.
You know, he was that far above the rest of the competition that there wasn't a discussion.
No,
you know what I mean. So I think for me, that's why when you said MJ earlier, it was a non-negotiable.
I think so.
That's where he is, and that's where I see a guy like Usain Bolt as well. I mean, you talk about sprinting. I mean, there's no one else you can talk about.
No, not at all.
He is that far above the rest of the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he sits for me.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah, there's just so many to choose from. Who was your number 2?
Well, look, I think if we're going on what we've just spoke about, I think MJ 1, I think Usain Bolt 2, and it's tough because I'd like to sort of continue on my theory of, you know, being so much better than the rest of the competition.
Yep.
So I haven't got one for you now. You know, part of me was thinking almost a guy like Michael Schumacher. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton is his equal now. But you know, Schumacher was you know, he was the man.
Yes.
You know, he was dominating the sport.
Yeah.
So someone like that. I don't think it would be Schumacher, but that's really what I'm looking for. Did they how far elevated above the rest of their peers are they? That for me defines you being in the conversation of being the GOAT.
What about Michael Phelps?
Yeah, Phelps is a good shout.
It's a lot of athletes though.
As an all-rounder,
yes,
as Phelps, you know, he had competition when it came to certain events.
Yes,
but I think as an all-rounder, that's why he's got so many gold medals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. I like his diversity, but I think that also brings him back a little bit for me in terms of just, you know, being all round, you know, excellent at your one craft.
Yeah. So you don't have a third for me? Not locking in a third?
I'll take it on notice. But I'll give you Brady for now. I'll give you Brady for now, and I'll take it on notice.
I like your Usain Bolt call though. That's a very good call.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a lot of athletes to choose from. A lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking about Brady. We're talking about NFL. I don't know if you've seen the two AFC and NFC championship games that took place this morning Australian time.
I watched both of them.
Another two epic clashes, BT.
Insane.
My goodness, we've had an absolute treat in the NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
Particularly these past 2 weeks. And it's going to be a Bengals Rams Super Bowl. I don't think anyone really would have picked that. No one.
Right. Especially the Bengals.
Oh, how about them Bengals? How about them Bengals?
Bloody hell.
1988, I think, was the last time they made the Super Bowl. The city of Cincinnati is going bananas. The last time they'd won a Super Bowl, the last time they'd won a playoff game for this season was 1991.
Yeah.
Joey B is doing things. He is really impressing in the playoffs. And there was a couple of plays in that game in the fourth quarter where he just extended the play. He used his legs. He got out of the pocket, escaped the pass rush. And that was something that Mahomes wasn't able to do.
Exactly.
Mahomes was really feeling the pressure.
I
think he got sacked 4 times in that last quarter, BT.
Mm-hmm. I don't think people realize how good Burrow's, like you said, getting out of the pocket rushing type game is, evading, and his vision is for second year. I think he is. He got injured last season.
Quarterback. Yeah.
Oh, he looks like he's been there for a long time. He's very
poised.
Good.
And it's not as if he has a really good offensive line either.
No.
Like it's not sensational. No. You know, there were discussions when they had the draft earlier this year that, you know, Cincinnati should be taking one of the big offensive tackles. And they didn't. They went for Jamar Chase instead, who has been an all-pro at wide receiver and has been huge. He had a big touchdown again as well.
Yeah. You need players
like that. They look good on offense. Oh, yeah. You need playmakers. They look good offensively and they look decent defensively. They made the stops they needed in that second half. I mean, they were down 18. They were down 18, and that third quarter, they leveled it up by the end of the third quarter. They locked them down on defense there, and they managed to make the plays on offense to get them back in the game. Big chunk plays, big dynamic stretch plays.
But it wasn't like they just locked down like an average type quarterback team or even team receivers. No. Like this is a top team, like especially explosive quarterback. Yeah, explosive type team. Yeah, and they, like I think that third quarter, the second half even. Yeah, they looked the goods. Can they follow that through to the Super Bowl? That's
wow. The Rams had an impressive win. They came back themselves. They were down 10. 49ers have had issues offensively. I mean, Debo looked good. Yeah, they've got they've got playmakers, but I don't think they've got the quarterback to get them over the hump. Their defense looks good, but the Rams defense, when they had to have it, they came up big. They made some big plays in the last quarter. I think there was the interception. There was the sack from Donald on the last play there.
And he had a quiet night.
I think he did. He did. And I think that defensive line of the Rams is going to be what makes the difference.
Yes.
I don't know if we're talking predictions now. I don't know if you want to do that later.
We'll do that later. We'll try and get the core 4 on, and we'll do.
Yeah. We'll get the boys together, but I think that defensive line is something special. Yep. And Matty Stafford, how good of a story is Matt Stafford?
Oh, was it 13th season?
Yeah, so he's been in Detroit for 12 seasons.
Yes,
never won a playoff game. Comes to LA, comes to the Rams. They put all the pieces around him to make it happen.
Yeah,
and
it's worked.
He's getting it done.
I think the big talk should be Cooper Kupp. This guy is insane. He changed that game. He won him that game, to be honest. I watched that whole game and he won him that game. His routes.
He won them the last game as well.
Yes,
he won them the divisional round. He had two big plays in that last quarter to get them the win.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a difference maker all season. He just knows how to get open.
Yeah, he knows exactly what to do. They have very good chemistry together for such a short period of time together. They work very well together.
And they don't have a tight end either. I think they were playing with their fourth string tight end.
Mm-hmm.
They're just throwing the ball to those two receivers.
Yeah.
You know? Cooper Kupp and OBJ, who showed everybody that all he really needed was a decent quarterback.
Yes, exactly.
The guy's talented.
Oh, yeah, he's always had that talent there. Anyone who makes a catch like he did, that famous catch, got to have some sort of talent.
Oh, yeah. No, that's it.
Having him and Cooper Kupp in the same team, they look very dangerous. And I'm not surprised that they've made it the whole way when you actually look at their team now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're well built, but they have sold the farm to get here.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So I think there may be a cliff that's going to be coming up next year, so they've got to get it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it should be a really entertaining match. I think we're glad to see a matchup that no one really expected.
Yes.
You know, we want to see two different teams, two new teams, two fresh teams.
Exactly.
Going at it in the Super Bowl. It's going to be really exciting.
Yes, it is. Hopefully it's a close game, good game. Don't want any blowouts.
Yeah. No, well, we've had 2 good rounds so far, so we're looking forward to a third.
Yeah.
BT, so we've got really a bit of a gap now between the sports that we have been covering, the Australian Open, the Big Bash is finished now with the Scorchers getting a nice victory the other week.
Easy.
NFL starting to wrap up. So what sort of things are we going to be covering on the podcast in the next few weeks before we get into the AFL season, which really is our bread and butter?
So we got the Premier League from TB and Steve, which they're still going to do the Premier League. So we got them two. We'll start very soon, I think we'll start doing the AFL previews. We'll start. That's it, like you said, our bread and butter. There's going to be a lot of content coming out of that. We can talk about that stuff for days.
And not just about the teams and their prospects as well. I mean, we're big on our AFL fantasy.
Yeah.
We're not great, but we certainly enjoy talking about it.
Come on, mate. Finished 110th in fantasy last season.
Hey, no cap though. No cap.
No cap yet. Wait for it, mate. Wait for it. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. So we've got plenty of that to talk about. And I think the big one that all of us really have gotten into in the last 12 months, majorly, I'll speak for myself, but I think all of us, Formula One is coming back soon. I think they're going to be doing some test drives in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll be really interested to see how the new cars are looking, whether Hamilton's coming back or not. I mean, that's a discussion
that's a big one.
at the moment.
Yeah, that is a big one. Hopefully not, to be honest.
You a Max fan?
I'm a Max fan now.
Oh, a bandwagon.
Oh yeah, for sure. If whoever beats Hamilton, I'm jumping on that bandwagon.
Okay, fair enough.
Nah, Danny Rick.
F1. Oh yeah, we love our Danny Rick. Do you reckon he's going to have a better season?
Yes.
Season number 2 for McLaren?
Yes. Yeah.
You reckon they're going to sort that car out for him? Because on his day, he's one of the best drivers in the pack.
Yes. With the new rules, the budgets and everything, I think it's going to make it a little bit more closer as well. These lower teams will get a little bit closer. I think he's still going to be your Mercedes, Red Bull up top.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to be as big of a gap. Like in the races, they're not going to win by your 20, 30 second type margins. It's going to be your 15 type second. I think that's what it's going to be like.
I can't wait to see how Haas goes. I mean, given they've had 2 years now to prepare this car, I'm expecting points. I'm expecting points, and I want to see it happen.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
That'll be nice to see.
So yeah, we've got AFL fantasy team previews. We'll do a tipping. We'll do some tipping clips, our little weekly tips, which we got to come up with something for the loser penalty for the loser of footy tips.
Yeah, no, we don't like that. You know, we really want to strive for performance here. So negative punishments are always the go.
Yep, that's it. But yeah, Formula One, the EPL soccer later in the year, I think it is the World Cup, the soccer.
Yes, yeah, 2022 Qatar World Cup. So, we're certainly going to be covering all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Winter UFC, Olympics as well.
Winter Olympics, UFC, boxing, anything. Any sport that's on, we're going to be covering. But in between now and footy season, we'll be doing our pre-season footy, Premier League, and then we'll talk about Formula One, what's happening in that. That's probably the three main. Yep.
Absolutely. And look, just for everybody who's watching or listening out there, you know, we really want your feedback. We really want to hear from you guys. You know, if there's things that you want us to cover that you enjoy, please let us know, because we love talking about sport and we want to give you, you know, what we enjoy talking about and what you want to hear.
Exactly.
So, you know, hit us up on the socials. Let us know what you're enjoying. Let us know what you want to hear more of. And hopefully we can produce some of the best sports content on the internet for you guys and really make a good go at this. That's what we're looking to do.
Exactly. We'll do our research on anything. If we have to, we love talking about any sports. Sports.
Yes.
Sports. That's all it is. And stats.
And stats.
Don't forget about those stats. Yes. So yeah, like Josh said, let us know what you want to hear. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us. Comments will be a big one. Yeah, just want to see how we're going. We're enjoying it. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it. So thanks for listening. Keep listening. There's going to be a hell of a lot more coming out. Wait for footy season. You're going to see that Statchat logo a lot.
You're going to be sick of us. We're looking forward to it. All right. Thanks, BT.
Thank you, Josh.
See you guys next time.
Catch up. Bye.